Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing today? We got a great show lined up with Eric Stokkebye and Josh Weiser from Arango Cigar. Wayne, tell us all about our guest today.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to introduce Eric Stokkebye, obviously from the Stokkebye Tobacco family. Eric has his own line of pipes and tobaccos that we're here to talk a little bit about today. I think everybody kind of knows Ben up there in the corner, our sales guy in the shop here. And we have Josh down here. Josh is the pipe guy at Arango. So he's the go-to guy. I don't know what else you do there at Arango, Josh, but I know pipes is what we usually call you guys most about, and tobacco. So these are our guys. So appreciate everybody coming out.
Thank you.
Have a neat time here today. We'll talk about some of the different products that Eric makes and is available here at the shop. Everybody's going to want to know this question real quick. Josh, what is that behind you?
Oh, that is a giant pipe. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me see if I can go out a little bit here. So we bring this to all the shows, Wayne. I think you've seen this before.
I have.
That is an actual giant pipe that was made by Eric Nording. Those crazy Danes, you know.
Yeah.
The mouthpiece or stem is made out of little tiny stems. Let me see if I could zoom in for you guys a little bit. Actually, I'll get up. Oop.
Wow.
It's actually made out of a bunch of recycled mouthpieces, and of course, the pipe itself is made out of recycled pipes, as you can see.
That's pretty awesome.
And that's all from the mind of Eric Nording.
Do you know what
It sounds like the Danes have too much time on their hands.
Apparently.
Were they all smoked, the pipes, Josh, do you know?
I don't know, but this is actually a pipe that you can smoke. There's actually a bowl here
Oh,
that
wow.
you put tobacco in, and you can actually smoke this pipe. Although it's been a long time since someone smoked it, but
Let's see it.
Eric, next time you're here, we can give it a whirl.
There you go. So, Eric, you're kind of our focus today. We'll talk a little about your pipes and your tobacco, which we carry them in our shop as a regular item. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your family history, which is pretty exciting, and about what kind of got you going in your own direction with the fourth generation?
Sure. Well, Wayne, thank you for having me here on the show, first of all. And yes, I'm a fourth generation in the tobacco business. That is, I started with my great-grandfather in 1882 in Denmark, where he had a factory and a little retail shop in front. And my grandfather got into the business, let's see, in the late 20s. And he was actually more of a cigar guy and converted a big part of the business into a cigar producing company with some pipe tobacco. And then my father joined the company later in the late 50s, early 60s. And that's when really pipe tobacco was having its big surge, and both here in the States and in Europe. And so he actually focused more on pipe tobacco, and the cigars kind of fizzled out. So he got into the pipe tobacco and started exporting to the United States under his name, Peter Stokkebye. And myself, I joined, well, actually, I was just a kid when I came to my grandfather's factory the first time, but I kind of officially joined the company in the late 1980s. And became part of the company, and then in the mid 1990s, we sold the company to Scandinavian Tobacco Company, and with the trademark Peter Stokkebye. So they're now the owner of the trademark Peter Stokkebye. And myself, I decided to start kind of a brand under the family heritage and so forth, and that was in 2012. So next year we have a 10th year anniversary, And so I wanted to have, some nice tobaccos, and then in 2013 I met Peter Jeppesen in Europe, and we hit it up really well. And I asked him if we can do some line of pipes as well, or if he was interested in doing that, and he said, yeah, absolutely. So went back and forth and came up with some models, and so here we are today. With both the pipes and the tobaccos, and we have a nice series of accessories, pipe accessories as well. So it's been good. It's been a lot of fun.
That's cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
You got some cool pipes there you can show us, Wayne, on your desk. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about those.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, so that's a church warden. What's a very popular, particularly when the Lord of the Rings movie out, and so this particular pipes are actually made in France. It's made by Chacom, and so we have that one in a nice, beautiful sandblast, and then we have a smooth one as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. So the gentleman makes your pipes. Most of them are made in Denmark.
Most of them, except the church wardens, are made in Denmark, and so it's Peter Nerup who makes the regular line, and it's a very very classic or somewhat classic way of or the models pipes, and so we started with, I think, 4 shapes, and now we have I believe 7 shapes, so in 3 different finishes, and we are just about to bring on, that's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So each band is made out of bronze, and which is partly copper. So that's one of the shapes. I think that's the 1957 shapes, which is my year. And in a couple of weeks, we'll be launching. Arango is the importer of Erik Nording pipes, and I've known Erik and his son Knut for hundreds of years, I dare say, long time. And so because of Arango, good relationship with them, we decided to bring out a line of pipes that are made by Erik Nording, and it's under the 4th generation name. And we're excited about launching these in a couple of weeks or 3. So
Okay.
When you source almost and you go with people you think can do the pipes. So I think you've done Eltang has done some pipes for you as well.
Well, what we have done in the past, we've done Pipe of the Year, and so we have gone with different manufacturers. But Tom did make the Pipe of the Year for 3 years in a row. Yes, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, and they're pricey, so limited in production. I think 50 or 75 pipes or so thereabouts. So, but yeah, it's fun to do projects like that. I think it's fun to have those kind of relationships. That's what I really enjoy with this business. And you can go to these different people and say, hey, I have an idea, and can we do this? And you want to do it, and that type of thing. So it's just fun.
And that's always been, I think, one of the best things about the tobacco industry and pipes in specific is how open everyone is with each other.
Right.
It's like everyone's fighting for pipes and pipe tobacco to keep on moving forward.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a small world, and everybody seems to know each other. So that's good. And everybody seems to have a good relationship. So that's a positive thing for sure. So yeah.
So you went with traditional shapes. I appreciate that. And being a buyer at Anstead's, you have to be careful not to buy just what I like. When you go to the shows,
Sure.
Either Tom with me back in the day, Will would come, or whoever. Somebody comes with me, and I said, okay, we're all going to pick out certain pipes for the shop, and then analyze what we want to bring in. But it appears our customers lean to a little bit more of a traditional product. Obviously, during the 70s and early 80s, the freehands were huge. But
Yeah.
Josh and Eric or Josh, what are the most popular shaped pipes out there? What are you selling the most? Because Rango sells a lot of pipes.
Freehands do sell extremely well, but I have to say, as far as across the board, as far as shapes go, you hit it on the head, Wayne. The classic or traditional shapes are still the most popular. It's just I think that's because people have this idea or a picture in their mind of what a pipe should look like, or they see themselves smoking a pipe that looks a certain way, like the one you're smoking right now, and they tend to go with the calmer, as I call them, the less fun shapes. But still, because freehand, the only thing left to the carver's imagination is what they can make out of the briar. Where traditional shapes, we have to kind of stay to that that idea, that mold. So a freehand truly is, lets an artist really explore all their possibilities, and based on the briar, of course. And I tend to gravitate more towards a freehand or artisan type pipes myself.
Okay.
I think my favorite thing about the fourth generation pipes is it's a modern play on a very traditional shape.
I agree.
And I think that it's almost taking the Danish freehand style, dialing it back a little bit and putting a more traditional view on it. And I really, really think they're sharp pipes.
Right. Well, thank you. I just want to show you, this is one of the fourth generation Nording pipes. I just got a Samuelson, and I think it looks pretty sharp. It's also a bronze band, and so this is one of them to look forward to.
Awesome.
I have another question about the shapes. I know they're all dates, and the dates all correspond to different members of your family.
Right.
Was the stylizing of those pipes also kind of put into those years?
Yeah, I mean, when we did the original 4 shapes, I had some thoughts about not my great grandfather, because I never got to know him. I'm old, but I'm not that old. So my grandfather, yes, I mean, he was not a huge pipe smoker. He was more of a cigar smoker, but he did occasionally smoke a pipe. And, I remember some of his pipes that he smoked. So I had that in mind when I thought about him as dedicating one of the pipes to his year. And the same with my father, who loved to smoke a good flake tobacco, and he liked the more classic shapes. So yeah, definitely, I had that in mind for most of us. So yeah.
Your father was one of my favorite people on the planet. He was a true gentleman and fun to be with, and I'll never forget him.
And he loved to party.
Yeah, he did love to party.
Yeah, I remember many TAA shows. Yes.
Yes, him and Ralph Rumbo at the TAA, they had some fun nights together, and I think a lot of good laughs. Yeah.
Yes, I definitely did. Awesome. So, an interesting question. People tell me this all the time. They walk into our store and they see all the pipes that we carry, and they go, "Do people really still smoke pipes?" It's a question I get all the time. It's funny, they do. Well, yeah, we just put them back here on the wall because they're fun to look at. But I try to explain to people, I think pipe smoking, because you're so limited to where you go, pipe smokers are more apt to be smoking a pipe on their back porch, front porch, in the garage, wherever they happen to, maybe even their family room. You don't see people out about walking up and down the street like you used to smoking a pipe. But we see the pipe business growing like crazy. How about you guys? What are y'all seeing in the pipe as far as pipe goes?
Josh, do you want to take?
Yeah, we're seeing the same thing. The pandemic has showed us that people apparently like to smoke when they don't have much to do. Last year was a good year for us. Pipes and pipe tobacco, there was definitely an upswing. So there are people smoking, plenty. You know, I like to, one of the analogies I like to use about pipes versus cigars. First of all, most pipe smokers will smoke cigars, but most cigar smokers will not smoke a pipe.
Right.
You know, one of my favorite analogies is when you're done smoking a pipe and you could smoke the most expensive tobacco you could find, you probably won't spend more than a couple bucks on that tobacco when you're done with your pipe, when you're done smoking. And when you're done smoking, you have this gorgeous handmade piece of art still that you can look at and treasure and smoke again. If you smoke a $10 or $20 cigar, what do you have when you're done?
Right. Not much.
You got nothing. And you
Yeah.
just, so that's been my kind of like to get people's foot in the door that are cigar smokers to try to smoke a pipe. But of course, they're like, well, I don't have time for a pipe. It's too much work. It's
Right.
Well, from a retailer's perspective, it's love to see a guy come in every day and buy a $10 or $20 cigar, and then come back tomorrow and buy a $10 or $20 cigar, or come in and buy $1 worth of tobacco. So hey, I love the cigar smokers, but I think it's kind of fun. We see a lot of our customers going to a pipe. They all want to try it. They see it. They see people smoke. We have a lot of people in our lounge smoking a pipe all the time. We typically have a pipe club that meets here once a month, but with COVID, that hasn't happened in the last year. We're hoping things kind of ease up. We'll get back to that again. But our cigar smokers see that and they want to try it. So what advice could you give a cigar smoker, Eric, to enjoy that first bowl of tobacco? Now, we work with them pretty close. Ben does, Alex does, all the guys here in the shop. But what advice would you give a guy that says, man, I want to try a pipe. What should I do?
Yeah, well, I think that, they obviously shouldn't, invest in a $200 pipe, but they should start off with something less expensive, maybe even a corn cob pipe or something like that, or a basket pipe. And then I would definitely try with a milder tobacco and probably like an aromatic, because people tend to like that the most. So something mild, and aromatic is what I would start off with. And I think the best advice is really to tell them to stick with it. It takes a while. I mean, it takes, if you want to smoke a pipe, let's say once a day or, every other day, just do it for a couple of weeks or 3. And most people, they'll give up after a lot of, at least people that I've talked to, they'll start it out, and then after 2 or 3 bowls, it's not for me. Forget about it. I'm not doing it. So you have to stick with it for a while, and then you have to really learn the whole ritual of lighting up the pipe. Make sure that it's probably what do you call it? Loaded up the pipe as well. I mean, so there's some finesse things that you need to learn, and it's learning by doing. So. Stick with it. I think that's my key. And then let's say after a month, you still don't like it, then at least you gave it a good try. That's the key thing.
I've found in my experience that people come in and they'll say, I have a pipe, I haven't smoked it, it's so hard, and there's all these steps. And I've found if you go online and you look at, how to smoke a pipe, they almost they make it harder than it has to be.
Okay.
So I always try to let people know that it's not a crazy 20-step thing. In the end, it's very simple. Now, depending on how much you want to go into it, you can take the 3 pinches, this hard, that hard. But I feel if you go into too many steps right off the gate, people think it's going to be too much work, and it's not too much work. It's really about enjoying it and liking your pipe.
Yeah.
If it's not your favorite pipe in the store, you're probably not going to smoke it as much.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very stylistic thing, and I try to bring that up as well. It's part of your outfit. You got to have a couple different colors because you want to have your nice pipe with you. So
it gives me another reason to drink whiskey. I'm just.
Nice, I like it. I need a reason.
I also would like to add that some of the beginners, and we're all guilty of this. We burnt our tongue smoking a pipe, and especially a cigar smoker, they don't burn their tongues. They could smoke a very strong cigar and it doesn't have that. it doesn't have that effect. So if we can help them understand how to sip the smoke instead of puffing on their pipe,
Right.
so the smoke isn't so hot. And unfortunately, as you guys know, with aromatic tobaccos, the moisture content's higher and it takes a hotter flame.
Yeah.
Those tobaccos, so you're going to have a hotter smoke in your mouth. So we have to try to educate people that aren't familiar with pipe smoking how to calm down and enjoy it and sip the smoke like you're doing, like you guys are doing right now, and don't puff on it like you would a cigar.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to talk about. Was a lot of folks want to take a big heavy draw, and so you just sip on it, just take it slowly and relax, and enjoy that time. You know, it's time to relax and think about things, and then point at something and go, yeah.
The perfect pipe is always about to go out.
Yeah.
I like the analogy about sipping. I was walking through the store today, and it was a gentleman. I could just tell by looking at him he was new at pipe smoking. He was cool by the way he was working it. So I stopped for a few minutes, sat down, and chatted with him, and he was struggling keeping the pipe lit. And he'd been online looking at 100 different ways to do it. And he remembers when he bought his pipes here, they explained it to him, but he didn't remember. So I sat down with him, explained it to him again, and again tried to point out you just need to slow down with the pipe, because he said it was getting hot on him. I just need to slow down and relax with it. But I like the analogy of sipping it instead of really puffing on it. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then if you drink the whiskey at the same time, it doesn't necessarily burn your tongue, right, Josh?
Right, exactly.
That's right. But can you imagine trying to drink whiskey when you have a burnt tongue?
No. Stay bite. It's really going to bite. So I noticed we have something that just came in. Eric, maybe you'll tell us a little bit about it. It's this tobacco right here.
Yes. So the PD Kentucky. So it's a nice. Well, let me start all over. So we've been doing these limited edition for 3 years now, and each have been some special tobaccos that we packed in this little humidor box. And so this is the 3rd year, and this year it's a disc pressed tobacco. That is the PD Kentucky. It's a partly dark fire tobacco mixed with some Virginias, and it's rolled up like a cigar. And then it's pressed for a while. It sits in a press for about a week, and before it's cut into these slices that you'll see once you open it up and buy it. So it's I would say a moderate to strong tobacco. It has the dark fire, which is really burley tobacco that's fire cured, makes it a little bit stronger. And the Virginias are also light to medium strength, I would say. So, and it has a little bit of a top flavor to it as well. So
a little bit of what flavor?
A little bit of a top flavor.
Okay.
So it has a little bit of a pear of fruit note to it. The top note.
Okay.
So, but a very nice blend, very pleasant. Something you definitely need to smoke on, at night, or something you need to smoke when you have time for it. So,
Eric, do you have a box there? Because
I do.
Because it's a limited edition. Only 2,500 were made, and each box is numbered. And they're a little humidor style box. If you could open that up and share it with people.
Yep. See,
It's
I've already
smoked
mine. So here we go.
Okay.
And can you show the tobacco for us, Eric? Or did you smoke it all?
I smoked it all. So it's.
We'll get mine.
No, that's all right. I can open up another one here. Let me do that, Josh. So.
And while he's opening that up, let's. Wayne, do you have any great pipe trivia questions that we could ask our viewers? Because I'd like to give somebody with the right answer this lovely 4th generation cap that looks really great.
Oh, cool.
So, what kind of a good trivia question, Wayne, can we throw out there to our audience?
Well, I'll throw one out. What is this part of the pipe called? Of the pipe stem. This part right here that goes into the bowl. That'll be our first question. Who knows what that's called?
Raise it up, Wayne. We can't see what you're pointing at.
Sorry. On the stem. You can see it.
Other way. There we go. Up.
There we go. This part right here. It's the most fragile part in a pipe. And just a little bit of information, it's kind of designed to be the most fragile part, probably. We do have a local pipe repairman that does our pipe repairs. So if anybody has a pipe at home that they sat on, broke, or tore up, bring it on in, let our pipe repairman put a new stem on it, make it look like new again. So it's one thing to kind of keep in mind. You spend $100, $150, $200 on a pipe, and you break it, we can get it back on the road for probably less than $20. But that's probably the most fragile part on a pipe, and it has its own little name. So that'll be our first question.
So all those out there watching, answer in the comments, and we'll give you time to go back and do some research. And then next week, Wayne and I will go live and announce the winners. All correct answers will get a raffle ticket, and we'll go live and surprise everybody with some great things. All right, back to the tobacco, Eric.
All right, so here it is. I hope you could see it. Let me, you know what, it might be easy if I take it out. But I just noticed when I open it up, it's, here we go. You see these little discs? When I open it up, I smelled that dark fire. It's got that peaty, smoky note to it. So you just you rub it out. I gotta find. So you rub it out just like any other flake type tobacco, and then you load your pipe with it. But very got that peaty note to it. So pretty cool stuff.
So, Eric, you were in the store. It's been a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I was trying to think when that was, but it's been a few years. Yeah, it has. Yeah.
So I remember we were doing something with our pipe club. I think you were doing a blending seminar or something like that. And I asked the question, can you smoke a spun cut or a flake or a roll? Can you smoke it without rubbing it out? And you said, yes, you can. And you showed how to do it. And it worked. But could you maybe explain to our customers maybe something they can try a little bit different?
Yeah, I mean, let me get a hold of this again. And so basically, if this is I got to go the right way here. If this is the flake tobacco, you just kind of load your pipe with it without breaking it up. And then you fill it, and then you draw on the pipe to make sure that it's got the right amount of air and flow to it. With a flake, you just kind of break it in half and you put it into the pipe, and that's going to give you a much slower smoke than if you break it up. So it's going to be slower and probably a little bit slower burning as well. But it's going to be it's going to be a nice way of trying something new. Maybe you like it. So.
Yeah, I remember you did it for me, and I think you even you rubbed out just a little bit of tobacco on the top to help it get started. But I was surprised at how well it smoked. Because I'd watched you do it during the pipe event, and I said, "Hey, show me how you do that." So it was
exactly. Yeah, it's either way. That's the nice thing about pipe smoking. Whatever suits your fancy. Once you get into it, you can load it up in different ways, and whatever you feel best about. That's the way to do it. So, yeah.
And you can when you load the pipe or when you're packing your pipe, you can make it whatever draw you want. You can't do that with a cigar. You want to try to draw, you fill it up. You fill it up and compress it more. You want a looser draw, and so forth. You can control the draw based on the type of tobacco and based on the pipe you're smoking. You might want a looser draw, perhaps for like a church warden, and a little tighter draw for a nice big bowl. You're going to sit down for an hour. You can customize it to your own taste.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hey, I got another trivia question, Tom.
Okay, cool.
Great. I think another trivia question deserves a fantastic sign for somebody's man cave. Fourth generation family
Nice.
reserve. Look good right there above your pipes where you have your little pipe furniture and all your beautiful Stokkebye pipes.
So the trivia question is, if you've been watching since the beginning, you may have to go back and rewatch. Who makes this pipe for Stokkebye? So what pipe manufacturer actually is the maker of this pipe? And it was mentioned earlier in the video. So if you didn't remember it, you can go back and take a look and make sure all of our viewers get a chance to win that cool sign.
Cool.
Eric, I know I personally love the history of tobacco, pipe tobacco.
Uh-huh.
And I know I saw in Tobacco Business 2019 in Odense, you had a bunch of stuff in a museum, right?
Oh yeah. So this is actually a interesting little story. So my grandfather, he collected tobacco artifacts from all over the world with a friend of his who was a lawyer. They kind of formed this collection, and it was really a pretty amazing collection of pipes, like I said, from Peru to Indonesia to all over the world. Um, and and then he went to the local museum in Odense, where he was from, and then asked them if they could exhibit this tobacco museum there, and they said absolutely. So it was exhibited there. I would say from the early 19 after the war, so probably mid 40s through, and then to I think the 19 late 50s, it was then boxed up, and then it's been sitting in boxes ever since, until a couple of years ago. I went to the same museum and I said, "Look, we have this, we have all these artifacts, tobacco artifacts that my grandfather used to exhibit here at your museum. I'd like to do that again," and that's what we did. 2018, yes. So they really did a great job. They put up a small area of the museum, and put out the best artifacts that he had collected throughout the year. So, and it was up, I think, for about 6 months. And so what that means in Denmark is, once you do that, you leave all the artifacts to the museum, and hopefully they may put it up again one of these days. So, but that was a fun little project.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can only imagine looking through those boxes.
I know, it was pretty amazing. I mean, I went through them myself, and all pipes that you never seen before, just and of different material. It was pretty amazing. And then letters that he had written out to the Cuban government, asking for any kind of tobacco artifacts from Cuba, and it was just a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, that'd be a dream come true. It just makes me think, like right now talking to you, I feel like I'm talking to a titan in the industry, historic game, blah, blah, blah. Does anyone you've met in your past really stand out to you as one of those real legends that was a gift to meet?
That's a good question. I bet so many people. But I mean, I think, I think, Ed Colpin, who was the founder of the Tinderbox chain, he was a pretty sweet man, and I did really enjoyed meeting him, and he did, I think, a pretty good business with that chain. So Ed Colpin was the one. Herman Lane was another gentleman that I met years ago, and I think he did a fantastic job too in the pipe tobacco. And of course, I have to mention my own father, because so we had a good relationship, and he did some good things too. So that's on top of my head, that's probably who stands out.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so all good people. And it was interesting because I was inaugurated to the Chacom in St. Claude, France. They have this annual thing where you get adapted into this pipe smoking society, and I got to do that a couple of years ago. And they have this boardroom, and one of the things they ask you to do is bring a pipe, and you leave the pipe, and they put a little nameplate with your pipe. So they have this boardroom with all these, people who has been inaugurated there, and I saw my father and Hermelane and some of these people there that who's been there and been through the same thing that I was. So that was a fun trip. That was really
Nice company to
very
keep.
special. Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's in the Pipe and Diamond Museum in St. Claude.
that is correct, Josh. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Got to get you over there, Wayne, to get your pipe
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Did you leave your pipe behind?
What?
Do you leave your pipe behind?
You do have to. You have to actually bring one of your favorite pipes.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, I know.
That's a dream.
You leave it behind, yeah. And the pipe that I left there was one of, my father had a line of pipes, very exclusive, very few, maybe 100 pipes a year. And it was one of those. So,
Okay.
so that was, yeah, it kind of broke my heart, actually. I really like that pipe.
I remember the line of cigars, the Peter Stokkebye line of cigars that came out.
Yep.
The Santa Maria,
Yep.
something like that. Does that sound right?
Yeah, Santa Maria, yeah.
What I would do to get my hands on one of those.
Yeah. Santa Maria. That was a project he did with Manuel Casada in the Dominican Republic. Yeah.
You got a good question there for one of our viewers. Can
Okay.
you go over again the name of that fourth generation blend? That's Petey.
The Petey, Kentucky.
It's called Petey, Kentucky, yeah, and just in these it's a small batch, so just made for this production run here, and this is how it looks like.
Yep.
How cool is that, though? It's a little collector humidor box. I just think, good job, Eric. I think that's very
Thank you.
cool.
All right, well, you were part of it too, Josh.
We'll tell people that.
Yeah, cool.
Well, cool. Yeah, so maybe Eric can come up. Ben, you have a trivia question for us?
Oh,
Well, before we give the question away, Ben, think real hard on it because I think this question should be a little harder since you're going to get this fantastic
Oh, nice.
fourth generation number 4 pipe smoker's ashtray with the cork knocker built in, no extra charge.
How cool.
It holds a pipe perfectly.
All right.
There you go.
Cool.
So this will be our big grand prize today. So make it a good one, Ben.
all right. What city was the tobacco installment in Denmark that the tobacco museum?
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
I bet.
I already forgot.
It's a hard one.
Wayne, you're gonna have to go back and watch the video again.
I will. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Good question.
That's a tough one.
And you have to pronounce it correctly.
Well,
Now another thing we got coming up next month. Eric's gonna be stopping by the shop for our annual pipe trunk show. Wayne, tell us more about this event and so we can let our viewers know how great it's going to be.
so we have quite a few. We actually, Ben went through and went through Josh's website and picked all kinds of fun things. Some items that, anything from fourth generation to a Scorty to Chacombs, whatever. So we're going to have a whole variety of pipes, including Eric's pipes. We usually have a pretty good sale when we have a pipe trunk show like that. We let customers lay it away as well. So I can't remember the exact date, but Tom will kind of throw that out there real quick. But I think we're at the 20th maybe of March. It was our final date.
That sounds pretty accurate.
Yeah. I knew
We'll
it was
announce it. We'll have
we're excited. We'll have a whole bunch of pipes here. Eric will be here to talk about his tobaccos, his pipes. Get a great opportunity to meet the man face to face, and maybe we can talk Josh into coming down. They probably don't let him on airplanes, but luckily Eric can just come on down from Charlotte. Just a short.
In my car, yeah.
Yeah, we look forward to having you down here. It's always fun. It's a great opportunity. We bring pipes in that we typically don't have in the store, so we'll bring a whole bunch of new pipes in, and you can come take a look at them. So sometimes you'll see stuff that we typically don't buy to be available for us. So
right. Well, I'm looking forward to this, Wayne and Ben and Tom, and I just had an idea. I think we should throw in a pipe as a raffle prize, after the event, and have somebody win that pipe. So,
okay.
And it should be one of the new Nording 4th generation pipes. So I'm going to bring one of those with me.
And we'll do it. All right.
Yeah.
We'll let folks know they come in and they buy a pipe, we'll get their name in the drawing, or buy some of your tobacco, get their name in the drawing, and maybe they'll win it at the end of the event. So keep on Facebook. We'll also be popping some emails out as well.
Fantastic.
For our viewers that don't know, in case we have folks, I see some of the names that popped up aren't in town anymore, but all of our Stokkebye Tobacco, Eric's 4th generation tobaccos, are on our website. So if you're interested in trying the new PD blend, go to our website. Everything we have is listed and in stock, and including quite a few of the pipes that we have in stock as well too. So that's all kinds of funny noises coming on there, Tom. But he's
sorry. Well, I am outside Chicago, so you never know.
You never know. Well, Eric, Josh, we appreciate you guys and Ben coming out and hanging out with us today. We look forward to seeing you in about a month, Eric.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I'll be down there, and we'll have a fun day.
All right, sounds great. Thank you guys for being on with us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for putting this together.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Bye.